Make sure your phones are on silent or off is best. They should not be out. Mr. or Mrs. Kimmel have chaperoned every choir concert I've ever done here, so if they come around and tell you to do something differently than what you're doing, respect them as you would me. They know all the rules, they know my expectations. They've done this for hundreds of students before you, so please make sure that the phones are away, that you are respectful and attentive to your peers up on stage, as they will be for you. If you must go to the bathroom during the next hour, check out with one of the Kimmels, and it needs to be between choirs, not between songs, not during songs. And don't walk in front of the camera. Fifth and sixth are almost up here. If you're still back there in line 7th grade, just go ahead and get checked in as quickly as you can. And then get down here. We'll start as soon as everyone is up here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for making sure that this was on your calendar. You wore the right stuff. We're ready to go. Appreciate your attention to detail. It's exciting that we get to do this. We're going to actually unmute the Zoom broadcast here in a minute. I assume we're still muted. We're not muted. We are muted. We're not muted.
Correct.
Okay.
They can hear you.
Great. All right. Well, since we're unmuted and there are students just finishing the check-in process, let me go ahead and say hello and welcome to the audience that is online joining us for the very first time via Zoom. My name is Ryan Harris. I'm the Director of Choirs here at Harrison Preparatory. This is our first time doing any kind of virtual online live stream concert. So thank you so much to those of you that have taken the time to click the link and join the meeting and watch live in real time here at 2:45 on Tuesday. And also thank you to those of you who I know will watch this for the first time asynchronously off of the YouTube link once it's made public here in a few days. And may watch it several times over and share it with friends and family. We wish that we could have you all here with us in person to hear your applause and see your shining eyeballs and foreheads. But District has worked with us on establishing some new safety protocols that have to keep the numbers in the building down. So this is a new way of doing this, but it is the first time in 1 year and 11 months that we are able to have a live performance on stage with our students. So we're still very excited to be able to bring the students up to the risers, perform live for the first time in such a long time, and have you enjoy it from the comfort of. How many students are still back there with 7th grade getting checked in? Raise your hand if you're a 7th grader still getting attendance done. Okay, we got a few more students who need to get down here. So I'll tell you a little bit more about what you're going to hear tonight. Maybe I'll cut down on my talking later in the show. We're going to start with 7th grade choir on stage. This is 5th and 6th period combined. 7th grade is meant to be an introductory experience. All students with room for an arts elective in their schedule here at Harrison Prep take 7th grade choir for 1 semester. And that exposes them to this wonderful art form and what it's like to work inside of a musical ensemble and to be part of a team and strive towards a common goal. So these two classes have combined. They've learned the same repertoire, had the same lessons, and now they'll perform as one big choir for you. We're going to do 3 songs. Do Re Mi from The Sound of Music is somewhat of a traditional song to kick this first concert of the year off with. Many of the students sitting around the room waiting for their turn to perform have sung this song in the past. It's a great song we use to teach students how to sing major scales, which is, of course, the foundation of Western traditional concert music. We'll continue with Music Alone, which will be slightly more complicated. It will actually have about an 8-measure round in the middle of it. We get into what's called polyphonic texture, singing different words, different rhythms, different pitches, all at the same time. And then we'll close with a favorite song from one of our favorite holiday wintertime movies about a beverage we might enjoy during this cold time of the year. A little more about that song when we get there. I think the last few students are coming to the stage now, so I'm going to turn around, make sure I can actually see all these kids, get started on the piano, and thank you again for joining us for our very first live stream HP choir concert. Okay, the last song for 7th grade choir is from a movie you may be familiar with called The Polar Express. So you may have heard this song. When they are pointing at them, it is their turn to sing. But if they point at you, here in the audience, the other students, it is your turn to sing. And at home, feel free to chime in and join along. It'll be fun, I promise. Thank you so much. So that's the 7th grade choir. All right, great to have students back on stage under the lights and on the risers and getting all sweaty and nervous to sing for people in person again. So 8th grade, go ahead and make your way up. You can start finding your way down to the stairs. When the risers are clear, go ahead and start getting on those. So a little bit about for our Zoomiverse audience here that's watching online, a little bit about 8th grade choir. As I said before the concert starting, 7th grade is for nearly every 7th grade student at our school that has room for an arts elective in their schedule. It exposes them to choir. They get 1 semester. So we have 4 classes in the course of a year, 1 semester each of 7th grade choir. 8th grade choir is auditions. And so students near the end of 7th grade choir have the opportunity to indicate if they are interested in continuing on with 8th grade choir and through a collection of evidence from their work across the semester, sometimes by extra special audition process as well. We select students near the end of the year to be in that specialized advanced ensemble for the following year. So that class is coming to the stage now. Of course, auditions had to be a little bit creative last year in an online only school year. But we took evidence from their body of work from 7th grade choir, the assignments they had completed, the assessments they did, their attendance in class, their involvement in discussions, and these students displayed a proficient or higher level and an interest in being in 8th grade choir. So here they are. This is now 1st period and 3rd period combined to perform together for the first time, since our dress rehearsal yesterday was their first time together. And this class is full year. So where 7th grade is 1 semester, in 8th grade they've got the opportunity to go a full year. Normally 3 in-person concerts for a full school year. This year we'll have adjusted to 2 as we return from being online only last year. But here we are, 1st and 3rd period. We're also going to do 3 songs for you. Every choir is doing 3 songs in this concert. The first song is going to be The Colors of Winter, a beautiful 3-part harmony song. So now going to, for the first time in the concert, 3-part harmony. 7th grade did everything in 2-part. Colors of Winter will be in 3. Round on a Well-Known Text will be in 3, and your final song will be in 2-part with this group. But Colors of Winter is all about this time of the year and this season. Round on a Well-Known Text we'll talk about when we get there. And we'll close with just a wonderful American folk song, pop song called Love Blues.
sunsets casting shadows, evergreen trees on bending low. Years of wandering reflect the light upon the wasting snow. Colors of winter appear all around. The colors of winter, colors of brown, shades of gray, growing deeper every day. The colors of winter, these colors of brown. These are senses of the surroundings, sparkling air on frozen day. Lights that show on the snow, crystalline display. Colors of winter, colors of winter. The colors of winter appear all around. The colors of winter, these colors of
Okay, round on a well-known text is not every year, but every couple of years has kind of become a tradition for the 8th grade choir to learn. 8th grade is the year that in math, they learned the Pythagorean theorem, which we commonly know as a squared plus b squared equals c squared, which refers to right angle triangles and the two shorter sides and the one longer side that is the hypotenuse. I will not screw this up for you. A very verbose way of saying a squared plus b squared equals c squared is the square on the hypotenuse of a right angled triangle is equal to the sum of the squares of the two adjacent sides. I've taught this song over enough years to enough of these choirs to have, I think, my first middle schoolers that learned it now in college, sometimes doing trigonometry or geometry or any of the other crazy maths, sitting there literally going, okay, say squared plus b squared equals c. And they still sing this. Some of them have written back to me to say, I'm doing my college math homework singing round on a well-known text because it's relevant. So what I can promise you is these students will never forget the Pythagorean theorem again for as long as they live. We're going to do something a little unique with the piano here. We do this song a little differently every time. Hope you enjoy. This is in minor, and yes, it's meant to be a little tongue-in-cheek, but it's a great exercise in polyphony and singing different words, rhythms, and pitches in a minor key all together at the same time, which actually is somewhat complicated on this old and ancient and verbose lyric. Hope you enjoy Round on a Well-Known Text. high-tech stuff here. The beautiful digital acoustic real grand expression electric piano, and we're playing the drone with blue painter's tape. But you know, it's full color, so we're expressing our school spirit. The last song is called Love Is, and it's just a fun one. So sit back, relax, enjoy this two-part harmony, happy song, and then we'll get the high school concert chorus will be coming to the stage.
Sing your love, sing your happy song. For love is living everywhere. Feel a gentle rain in the season's change. In places of my heart to care. A quiet walk in the tender snow. A secret comes when day is done. In a grateful heart, in a question and trial.
All right, thank you so much. So that's the 8th grade choir, first period, third period, auditioned, selected, and 7th graders here again at the end of this semester have the opportunity to indicate to me if they want to be considered for that class based on their body of work from this semester. Next semester, 7th grade classes will also have that same opportunity a little later in the spring. High school concert chorus is now coming to the stage. So they will come on up. High school concert chorus is our beginning to intermediate level high school choral ensemble. So grades 9 through 12 all together in this single class. Some years we have multiple class sessions of it that do combine for this concert, like you've seen with the 7th and 8th graders. This year, the way the schedule worked out, we have just one class of high school concert chorus, but that's been great because we get to rehearse consistently every day. We know who's in the group, a little bit more relationship building. A lot of these students have been in choir together for several years, many of them. And this is a class that anybody can be in, regardless of musical experience or skill set or natural talent or anything like that. So if you're watching this concert as one of our HP students that's not here with us in the room, just know if singing is something that you would like to try at some point, and you do have to have 2 full years of arts credits to graduate high school in the great state of Washington. One of the ways you can get some of those 2 credits, or all of them, is to be in choir. So high school concert chorus is open to anyone. There's no audition required. If you just indicate to your counselor come registration time in the spring that you are interested in being in choir, this is possibly a great fit for you. We start kind of right at the beginning and ease our way into things. Now, this group, I must say, it has kind of a particularly unique collection of experience. A lot of times, this group is as small, well, we've had this group be as small as maybe 14, but also as large as 55. And sometimes we have many new first-time choir students, and sometimes we actually have a little bit more on the experience side. This group is a little bit more on the experience side. We've got several students up here that have done middle school choir. Some of them have even sang in past years some of the songs we're doing tonight. We use songs again every 4 or 5 years or so, usually. But this has been a great group because we've got students who are really experienced that have been helpful with student leadership and peer tutoring and even leading some instruction in my place on days I've had to be away from the office. And then students who are just jumping into it and having a great time working together. So this is one class period all together. It is a full year class, so you get 1.0 arts credits for being a concert chorus for 1 year. And we're going to do 3 songs for you as well. Our first song is going to be Bon Sayaba. It's in 3-part harmony, kind of a staple, really, of choral music. This is a song that's fairly well known in our world, and it's a traditional African Zulu song of celebratory welcome. So enjoy Bon Sayaba. And then we'll follow this with Intera Pax, which is a Latin lyric on a modern harmonic setting. So it's old lyrics with new music, and it essentially means peace on earth and goodwill towards men. Here we go. Thought you'd enjoy actually hearing it. So I thought I forgot to move the mics, my fault. high school concert chorus is It's You I Like by the one and only Mr. Fred Rogers. Some of us who are my age and older may remember him as the best neighbor we ever had on PBS Kids television. Fred Rogers stood for everything that was good and right and wholesome and pure and positive, and talked about things that were sometimes not positive, like feelings and anger and hurt and fear and things like that, but talked to students and children right through the television set on why they were unique and why they could get through those things and why certain things were not things to be afraid of, how to manage your feelings and navigate certain situations, and also taught a lot of us to imagine and to believe in the land of make-believe. Fred Rogers had a great jazz trio just offset. All of the music that's on his show was actually done live by his own jazz trio just off camera. And sometimes they got to come on camera into the music store set and actually play songs live. So there was that musical element. That show was a huge influence on me growing up. And one of the more famous songs from his book that Fred wrote all of the songs on that show as well, was this one called It's You I Like, just about liking people for the way they are. And not necessarily the things they have or the places they go or the way they do or what color their mask is, but just liking people for who they are, something I think we need to remember how to do coming out of what we've all been through in the last couple of years. So we're going to hear several soloists on this. Raise your hand if you're singing a solo. I don't want to miss anybody. All right, we got Evie, Bethany, Peyton, and Janae are all going to come down here and sing solos for you at various points. I'm going to make sure both of these are on. Yes, good. Yes, good. All right. So this has been an exercise in a sort of an introduction to jazz music. And we've arranged from Fred Rogers' very simple PDF outline sketch of the song. We've sort of arranged our own version of this as far as when we're going to go fast, when we're going to go slow, who's singing solos, when there are solos, what the rhythm and groove for various sections are. So this is kind of our version of It's You I Like by Fred Rogers. Hope you enjoy. And then up last and finally will be the high school chamber choir, and we'll end the concert probably right around, I'm gonna guess, maybe 3:40. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you to the students in the room for being such great audience members so far, and thank you to those of you again for watching online. Here's It's You I Like. All right, thank you so much. So once again, that's the high school concert chorus, beginning to intermediate, a little extra experience this year around in that group. It can be as small as 15, as large as 60, depending on how many class sessions of it we run. This has been a great group to work with. They will see you again, as will the 8th graders, at a May concert, and arrangements for that, details in person or online, to be determined between now and then, as we're always navigating this very fluid situation. Coming to the stage is the high school chamber choir, which doubles as our IB diploma program music class. So this is also a 9th through 12th grade opportunity. It is by audition only. The auditions for this are relatively rigorous. Well, not relatively anything. The auditions for this are rigorous and modeled after most college choir audition processes. That process for students interested in next year will begin just in the next couple of weeks after semester changes. Classes that are eligible to audition for this will kind of have some tutorial lessons on preparing that audition, and then we'll spend some time during class auditioning for this group for students who are interested. Students who are not presently in choir, who are interested in being in this group next year, should stop by, see me at my classroom sometime, drop me an email in choir, and we can set up a time to add you to the audition process for this group as well. 9th through 12th graders, the juniors are in IB Music 1, the seniors are in IB Music 2, and will submit assessments to the IB Music program in the spring. We are very proud of our passage rate of the 23 students that have tested for IB Music at this school across the last 3 years. 21 have passed, which is a very high passage rate, well above national average. We're very proud about that and looking forward to getting these seniors prepared to submit their works later in the spring. The 9th and 10th graders in here are in what's called Concert Choir 1, but that's a course catalog title, and we call this group Chamber Choir. Again, this group has been anywhere between, I think 15 was the smallest group to about 36 was the largest group over the years. So looking forward to another round of auditions coming up and determining what size group we'll have for next year. This is the group that most commonly goes away from Harrison Preparatory School and represents us when those kinds of things can be had and done. So festivals, both local and larger state or tri-state regions, competitions, assemblies, district events, public events, City of Lakewood events. When we get the call to send a choir, this is commonly the choir that goes and represents us. Many students from this group over the years have gone on to major in music in college or participate in music in college, and we're happy to be continuing the tradition of high school chamber choir this year. Back in action, making music together again. We're going to do 3 songs for you as well. The first is called Ovos Omnes by Victoria. It's a Renaissance piece, roughly 500 years old. It's all in Latin. We're now moving for the first time in the program to 4-part harmony, sopranos, altos, tenors, and basses. This is in Latin. It's a sacred piece. It's polyphonic, so we've got different notes, words, and rhythms all happening at different times. And it's just a classic piece of concert repertoire. The translation essentially boils down to, all you who pass by my way, stop and attend, pay me attention. Have you ever seen any sorrow like my sorrow? This is Bobo Simmons. All right, our final song for you tonight, just a little bit past 3:30, so pretty much straight on track. Wangol is a Haitian traditional folk song, and Wangol is about essentially hoping for a better future for your country and for your nation. So our set here has been meant to be a little bit of a reminiscence of the journey that we have all, I think, together been on the last couple of years of feeling sorrow as perhaps we've not felt sorrow, or feeling sorrow in new ways that we've not had to feel sorrow before, wishing a granting of peace and hoping for some closure and a return to some state of normal, or at least establishing a new way of living here post-pandemic. And finally, we're going to discuss hopefully a hope for a better future for us and for all around us. Wangol is a great piece. We've had a lot of fun with this piece a time or two in the past. Hope you enjoy. Again, it's a Haitian Creole. Wangolo Wale. And that's going to conclude our concert. Thanks so much for coming. So when this song is done, we'll close the Zoom call. There'll be rustling and hustling about as students prepare to depart. I know some students will come up here and begin tearing the concert stage down. Thank you so much for being prepared, for being a great audience. And we look forward to performing for you again later in May. Again, venue and online or in person and all that to be determined. thank you so much. It is 3:43, 2 minutes short of our targeted time. Thank you so much again to the students here for being attentive, for paying attention to detail, for coming ready and prepared and being great audience members. Thank you at home for watching from Zoom or YouTube, perhaps after the fact if you're not watching it live. And we'll be happy to sing for you again in May. Thanks so much for supporting HB Choir, and good night.